Oh, yes. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome everybody to the Maj Toure Show. What's up, y'all? We got a live show tonight. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. We have a live one. Y'all know the routine tonight. Know your rights. You think you know them until the police show up at your door because of what you posted on Facebook. I know some of y'all don't even use Facebook no more. I know. And this ain't some remote story that's happening all over the country. People are being questioned, intimidated, or even investigated for exercising the exact freedoms the Constitution guarantees. Human rights. The Constitution guarantees. Tonight, we're going to break down two recent stories that show exactly why understanding your rights isn't optional. It is survival. Y'all know the routine. Come on in. Let me see y'all. Give me some energy in the chat. If you're watching on youtube.com/Maj Toure, let me know. If you're watching on X, just let me know. Put it in the chat. What's up, Rob? How are you? If you're new here, I'm Maj Toure. I've spent the last decade educating people all over the nation on Second Amendment rights and constitutional rights. As the founder of Solutionary University and Black Guns Matter, we've reached millions and trained thousands of people across the country on their rights, responsibilities, and how systems actually work. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow me for more. Also, y'all, our Know Your Rights course is available, and it's the course that teaches you exactly what to do in any police encounter to exercise your rights legally and confidently. And so tonight, if you get some value from the show, make sure you sign up for that. And if you get any value from tonight's show as well, buy me a coffee at the link in the chat and in the description box. Now, guys, we're going to go over these two stories. All right, so when I say stuff like this, people think that, like, I'm tripping. Maj, you just saying stuff because of whoop-de-whoop. Maj, you just this, that, and the third, right? And it's like, I hear y'all saying that, but that's not actually the case. When I'm critical of law enforcement, when I'm critical of the overreach and all of those different things, y'all think that I'm tripping, but I am not. Let's play this right now, and let's listen to how Maj is right yet again. Watch this, y'all, real quick. Watch
Picture to make sure it's you. We're not sure.
Okay.
Is that your account?
I refuse to answer questions without my lawyer present. So I really don't know how to answer that question
Okay.
either
Well,
way.
like I said, you're not
This
going to
is freedom
jail.
of speech. This is America, right?
And
I'm a veteran.
And I agree with you 100%.
Okay. All right.
We're just trying to see if it's you, because if we're not talking to the right person, we want to go see who the right person
Okay,
is.
how can I help you?
So pretty much it's just a statement that was made as far as,
Verbatim, it says the guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians tried to shut down a theater for showing a movie that hurt his feelings and refuses to stand up for the LGBTQ community in any way. Even leaves the room when they vote and on related matters. Wants you to know that you're all welcome. Clown face, clown face, clown face. 3 days ago.
You don't know if it was you?
I'm not going to answer whether that's me or not.
Okay.
The concerning part, and not concerning for the person who's posting it, what we're just trying to prevent is somebody else getting agitated or agreeing with the statement. We're not saying it's true or not.
Understood.
That guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians, that can probably incite somebody to do something radical. That's all we're here to talk about. And we wanted to get your side. If it was you that posted that, I would think to refrain from posting things like that, because that could get something
I
incited.
appreciate your concern. I appreciate you coming out here.
Okay?
That's it?
That is it.
Okay.
I'm going to maintain my amendment rights to not answer the question about whether or
no,
not that's.
okay.
I hope
Thank
that's
you for your time.
understandable.
We appreciate it.
Thank you
Yeah,
as
have a good
well.
day, okay?
You as well. Thank you.
Now, when we start hearing people talking that just comply shit, this is what more of this compliance gets you. And I know some of y'all gonna get mad at me, right? Some of y'all gonna say, well, Maj is different. What's up? Let me give some shout outs real quick. Come on, y'all, hit the like buttons. I know y'all only see me once a week now, all right? Listen, unless you're in our private community, you probably won't see me often. You follow me on social media, I engage, but I engage a lot more in our private community, Solutionary 9. But outside of that, I see y'all once a week for the show. I want to feel y'all energy. Come on, y'all. Let's chap it up. What's going on? Super Weapons, what's up? Wild Salt, what's up? Johnny Dogworth, what up, Mo? Hey, I appreciate that, bro. For y'all that aren't aware, I got an amazing interview coming out on I Never Knew TV. Bookworm, what's up? Vin Zinger, what's up? Confidence Reloaded, Naturally Armed. Let me get some energy, everybody. Now, y'all might get upset with me because I say things like, we are complying ourselves out the wazoo. We are seeing more and more people, even in the Second Amendment community, talking about, well, just comply with the officers. Just comply, just comply. And this is what compliance gets us. Well, let me read what she said. Some of y'all might not have heard it. Her comment, she said, quote, the guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians tried to shut down a theater for showing a movie that hurt his feelings and refuses to stand up for the LGBTQ community in any way, even leaves the room when they vote on related matters, wants you to know that you're all welcome here. Let me be very clear, y'all. Let me talk about the LGBTQ community. I don't give a fuck if you don't stand up for any community. I genuinely do not give a fuck. I don't care if don't nobody stand up for any community. I only care if you stand up for human rights to be protected. So I'm not telling you you got to be down with any of these bandwagon stand up whatever the fucks. I'm not going to tell y'all none of that. Okay? But I am going to tell you that when you are a part of a country that sends law enforcement officers that says we're about human rights, natural rights, the freedom of expression, the fact that those resources were even deployed to send an officer out to ask her questions about a fucking post is the reason why I'm telling y'all this compliance shit is bullshit. Now, the reason why some of y'all might get upset when I say that is because you're going to misconstrue that as me meaning just be a dickhead to cops unnecessarily and like make furtive movements and all of that. No, you moron. Don't take things that I say out of context. Okay? But I'm also not a person that's going to tell you, yeah, just compliance is the way that we get out of this. America was not built on compliance. Okay? America was not built on compliance. America was built on, we have a specific set of human rights. U.S. government should not be fucking treading on them. And if you do tread on our labor, taxation, tread on our expression, tread on our ability to keep and bear arms, we will overthrow your government. That is the framework of America. So lately you're going to see as more people on the right are meat gobbling the state, meat gobbling, the Trump administration, meat gobbling ICE, meat gobbling the feds, being so happy that, oh man, the ATF, we don't have to pay $200 for a tax stamp for suppressors now. As if this is freedom. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to let good be the enemy of great. This is progress in the direction that I think we should be going, but this is far the fuck away from actual freedom. So now we keep complying because our person was in charge, or we respect law and order, so just comply, as if Daniel Schaefer wasn't a thing. And we see all of this compliance, and it leads to this video right here of Raquel Paccio questioned by police for a comment on Facebook about the mayor of Miami. She's sharing her opinion and criticizing a mayor. Nothing illegal. Police visiting under the pretense of preventing somebody from being radicalized. What the fuck does that mean? You're supposed to be radical. I'm fucking awesome, dude. Totally gnarly. Radical. I'm a fucking teenage mutant ninja turtle. I'm super radical, dude. I'm totally tubular. I'm awesome. You're supposed to be radical. That's how change happens. Okay? But they telling you the truth. We're showing up. Police officers are showing up under the pretense of preventing somebody from being radicalized. Anybody can be targeted if you don't know your fucking rights. This is why we have a Know Your Rights class, a Know Your Rights campaign. These are all very important things, y'all. Let's play the video again for some of the people that may have just tapped in. I want to play it again. I'm gonna play it again, and y'all really, really listen to what's happening. Beautiful, sunny Miami. Sunny Miami.
Picture to make sure it's you. We're not sure.
Okay.
Is that a Facebook
Is
account?
that your account?
I refuse to answer questions without my lawyer present. So I really don't know how to answer that question
Okay.
either
Well,
way.
like I said, you're
I mean,
not
this
going
is
to
freedom
jail.
of speech. This is America, right?
And
A
I-
veteran.
Correct.
And I agree with you 100%.
All
We're
right.
just trying to see if it's you, because if we're not talking to the right person, we want to go see who the right person
Okay,
is.
how can I help you?
So pretty much it's just a statement that was made as far as,
Verbatim, it says the guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians tried to shut down a theater for showing a movie that hurt his feelings and refuses to stand up for the LGBTQ community in any way. Even leaves the room when they vote and on related matters. Wants you to know that you're all welcome. Clown face, clown face, clown face. 3 days ago.
So you don't know if it was you?
I'm not going to answer whether that's me or not.
Okay.
The concerning part,
The
and
concerning
not
part.
concerning for the person who's posting it, what we're just trying to prevent is somebody else getting agitated or agreeing with the statement. We're not saying it's true or not.
Understood.
That guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians, that can probably incite somebody to do something radical. That's all we're here to talk about.
Let me say this first and foremost. The fact that let me play this again. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Play this again. I want y'all to watch this again real quick.
Picture to make sure it's you. We're not sure.
Okay.
Is that a Facebook
Is
account?
that your account?
I refuse to answer questions without my lawyer present. So I really don't know how to answer that question
Okay.
either
Well,
way.
like I said,
I
you're
mean,
not
this
going
is
to
freedom
jail.
of speech. This is America, right?
And
A
I-
veteran.
Correct.
And I agree with you 100%.
All
We're
right.
just trying to see if it's you, because if we're not talking to the right person, we want to go see who the right person
Okay,
is.
how can I help you?
So pretty much it's just a statement that was made as far as,
Two police officers.
Verbatim, it says the guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians tried to shut down a theater for showing a movie that
This
hurt
is
his
wild.
feelings.
This is early stages of, but again, I understand the reasonable request of some people. They'll say, "Well, just comply. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. We they're just checking, because if they don't say anything and then that person does to be crazy, then people will say, well, he was on our radar." So I understand. It seems like a common sense move. They're just like how they say common sense gun control. Seems like a common sense move, but it's not common sense. We have the ability of a person to say a thing. If someone says a critique of an attorney, of a public servant, they shouldn't have to get their attorney involved because law enforcement shows up to their door. That's not okay. And see, when I say that about ICE, because yes, we do have a illegal immigration into America issue on certain levels. When we talk about how horrible the government has been at solving that and how they could actually solve it a different way, but they're doing it super sloppily and super horribly. All right? When all of those things are happening, then when I say that, then Maj, you just okay with the illegals? The government will utilize anything that is a problem to create another solution for them after they created the actual problem. So this conversation right here, when I think that lady was being very gracious and even opening the door for these fucking mopes. Okay? And all of these resources, because you want to send people out on the early stages of some Gestapo shit. But then when I say that, Maj, and I'm looking at conservatives just absolutely meat gobble over this type of thing. Just absolutely. And it's the most in the world. It's the most goofy, like non-American energy that I've ever seen watching people actually argue these points. And it's something as simple as this Facebook post that this young lady made. Again, Raquel Paccio questioned by a police for a comment on Facebook about the mayor of Miami. I have a coin to the city of Miami as well. I was in Miami years ago, and law enforcement recognized me, and they gave me, I have pictures and videos, they gave me a coin to the city of Miami, okay? I was on South Beach, okay? So I have a coin to the city of Miami. Law enforcement gave it to me for our work with BGN. So this argument that if you're in opposition to this, you must want lawlessness or you're not down with law and order. I love for our communities to be safe. But you know what makes a community safe? Safe and responsible fucking citizens, armed Americans and sovereign individuals, and government staying the fuck out of the way. That's what actually makes America safer. The actual Constitution. You know, the framework that made America one of the most greatest nations of all time. Okay? She's sharing her opinion, criticizing a mayor. The police show up, talking about they preventing someone from being radicalized. Everybody in America should be radicalized. Your government has been on a local, state, and federal level overreaching. We get to this point and then we go, well, I mean, we got so much illegal immigration because we didn't make sure that Congress put people in spaces where restriction into America was limited based on skill and streamlining that process. So we didn't do the thing as Americans. Then our political class didn't do the thing. Now over time, then they go, well, I mean, we got it. I see some of the people like, well, that's how you think they was going to do it. How they could have did it was maybe going after contractors as far as immigration. Going after contractors and restaurateurs that hire people behind the scenes. But no, they're not trying to get jobs for Americans and do all of that. They're still importing the H-1B visas out this joint. So they're telling you one thing and they're doing something else. They're telling you this is for your safety, but they're deploying resources in sunny, wonderful Miami. Love Miami. Shouts to Overtown. Shouts to the Green Haven Project. Love Miami. The great people of Miami now walking on eggshells. Fuck the eggshells. Fuck the egg. Step on the egg. That's what I'm telling y'all to do. This pretend shit. And listen, I don't care about being on the right or the left. We solutionaries. If you're not a solutionary, you are wrong. Period. Bookworm says, about what? Wild Celt says, A, B, C, D, always be closing the door. Ray Mankin says, this is a waste of time for officers. They have much more important things to do. Who even sent those guys out? The mayor. The mayor. Super weapons. Meanwhile, somebody probably getting mugged on South Beach and they over here pulling this stuff. Listen, I don't care about any of this. Oh, Bookworm says Miami. I'm also a fan of Fort Lauderdale and or Boca Raton myself. Certain sections of Miami, I get that, right? But I think it's a beautiful city. All right? My point in saying this, guys, is you have to start being loud and being with like-minded people and being confident and comfortable and being loud about this is wrong and this is overreach. You got to cut the cancer early. You got to cut the cancer early. And this type of governmental overreach, somebody said in the caption in the chat earlier, this is what they're doing in England too. It is. And speaking of which, let's go to another story. See this video right here? This Texas man, I want to say this before we move on. Let me say this real quick, guys. First, if you guys get some value, buy me a coffee. We're trying something new. We want to make sure that everybody's supporting the show, the channel, all that other good stuff. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Right there. It's on the screen now. buymeacoffee.com/Maj2Ray. You can support the show. You can support our increasing of our audio visual. Just support if you're getting some value from this. When you tap into the Maj2Ray show and our YouTube channel and all of this other stuff, you're tapping into a lesson on a balanced, nuanced, freedom-based take. I do not care about the Republicans or the Democrats when and if I offend them if they are wrong. And there are a lot of people lately on the right. I am politically on the right. I am not a Democrat. I was raised a Democrat. I am not a Democrat. I am a libertarian. I am a solutionary. But that is still a little right of center. But when the left gets something right, I say, all right, they got that one right. When the right gets something wrong, y'all know how I go. If that's what you're tapping into the show for, that's what these takes are going to be. Objective, nuanced, balanced. And if you want to support that type of content, go to buymeacoffee.com/Maj2Ray. I want y'all to watch this actual video right here. Let's check this one out next. Check this out, y'all. This is in Texas.
We're here because of the comments you made online about the Jewish community. Are you
So what?
No, I'm saying, are you?
I have a freedom of speech, dude.
Yeah,
no, we get that.
I get that.
We gotta
Uh-huh.
make sure that you're not.
Do you have a warrant?
No.
No, that's why we're
Yeah,
here.
you see that sign?
Yeah.
So that says no soliciting. What you're doing is basically soliciting. You understand that, right? Yeah. It means you're not welcomed here. Okay. Bye. Stay off the lawn, please.
Stay off the lawn, please. Now look at that. Look at that. We're here because of the comments you made online
This is
about
what they're
Israel.
doing, guys. You make comments about the Jews online, they'll fucking show up.
Oh, the Jews. He said he came in hard with that one. He came in hard with that one. Guys, you make fun lines about the Jews online. He came in hard. The Jews.
This is what they're doing, guys. You make comments about the Jews online, they'll fucking show up at your door. This is what they do. This is freedom of speech. This is how much control Israel has over our country.
Yikes.
Look at this response.
1, 2, 3.
For exercising my freedom of speech online. Wow. What a fucking joke.
He's right.
What a fucking joke. Can't wait to do some auditing of you boys.
He's right.
Bye-bye.
We'll run that back.
Try that again.
We're here because of the comments you made online about the Jewish community. Are you?
So what?
No, I'm saying, are you?
I have a freedom of speech, dude.
Yeah, no, we get that.
I get that.
We gotta
Uh-huh.
make sure that you're not.
Do you have a warrant?
No.
No, that's why we're
Yeah,
here.
you see that sign?
Do you have a warrant? You see that sign? Okay. Now, I want to, before I'll play that again a little bit later, right? But let me say this. I don't talk about any one particular group on the internet. Me personally. I don't care. I don't care about the talk about the Jews. Insert whatever, the Christians, the Muslims, the blacks, the whites. I don't like nobody. I don't like none of y'all. If you're not a solutionary, I don't like you. I judge you based on the moment that you do a thing. So for me to pretend like Christians aren't on the internet right now saying hateful shit towards black people and just be like, oh, well, if it's Christian, it's right. Or I can't provide examples of some of the most solid Muslims. I live in Philly. So I want to be clear. I'm not a collectivist. The only collective that I collectivize, or are you a good person? Are you a bad person? Moment to moment based on what you do. So I don't get on the internet and make things up about the Jews, right? I think more people financially should be practicing a whole lot of their community-based situations. Don't hate the player, hate the game. So I'm not going to be collectivist towards the Jews, the Muslims, the Christians, the whites, the illegals. I'm going to say based on what is happening moment to moment, okay? With that being the case, your political class is fucking subverted by a particular group of lobbyists in America. I will say that. That's just a fact of the matter. And you should be talking about the Chinese lobby too. Because every time I'm in DC, I look at some of your favorite politicians, I look at them gobbling Chinese lobbyists. I see it every time I speak at Congress. I see it every time I'm in DC, popping up on Thomas Massey, chopping it up with him. There are a ton of Chinese lobbyists in there selling sections of your country off to politicians. That happens. So I don't get online and just go, the Jews, the blacks, the whites. If the blacks, the whites, the Jews, did anybody do something wrong? We're going to critique them as solutionaries. Again, I don't like anybody that's not a solutionary. They ain't tapping into our show. They're going extreme right or extreme left because it's their color, red and blue. I ain't red and blue. I'm purple. With all of that being said, this gentleman is 100% correct. We got two examples, Miami and Texas, supposed to be free states. Florida, the great state of Florida, Great state of Texas. 2 video examples of law enforcement being sent to somebody's house because of something that they said on the internet. In a so-called free country. And then again, we go back to the ICE conversation. Now you got the so-called best of us, meaning politically right, now defending federal government overreach. These same people will disagree with this. But then they'll go, well, if ICE is just floating around, do y'all know that ICE, the Trump administration right now, let me find it. I had it up earlier. Having a conversation about sending ICE agents into homes, door to door, no knock warrant style. And I'm supposed to be okay with that in the name of the illegals. I'm supposed to be cool with that? Anybody that's cool with that is a partisan hack / meat gobbler of whatever color of flavor boot that they want to. Let's play it again. Let's play it again. I want y'all to pay attention and shouts to this gentleman in Texas, okay, for how he handled this.
Try that again.
We're here because of the comments you made online about the Jewish community. Are you
So
doing
what?
that? No, I'm saying, are you?
I have a freedom of speech, dude.
Yeah, no, we get that.
We get that.
We gotta make sure that you're not.
Do you have a warrant?
No.
No, that's why we're
Okay,
here.
you see that sign?
Yeah.
So that says no soliciting. What you're doing is basically soliciting. You understand that, right? Yeah. It means you're not welcomed here.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
Now look at
Stay
this
off the
guy.
lawn, please.
Look at this guy. Writing down plates. Being a problem. Being a problem. Why? Why? Writing down my license plate because of what I said on the internet.
This is what they're doing, guys. You make comments about the Jews online, they'll fucking show up at your door. This is what they do. This is freedom of speech. This is how much control Israel has over our country. Look at this response. For exercising my freedom of speech online. Wow. What a fucking joke.
Is a little wild.
What a fucking joke. Can't wait to do some auditing of you boys. Bye-bye.
See, even a slow pull-off is a form of attempted provocation.
Look at that. Sign says no soliciting. What do they think they're fucking doing? They got no warrant.
No warrant.
Sign that says no soliciting does not give you a right to my curtilage.
It does
Bye-bye.
not.
Freedom of speech.
Solutionaries. I know that y'all could say, and some of y'all may say that, Maj, how are you co-signing this guy? Because listen, even when somebody say words, right, I could tell that they got a little bigotry and bias to their whole energy based on how they say certain shit. When somebody say the Jews, they are 1,000% collectivizing everybody under that banner. I hear it when people say, if y'all didn't notice, I happen to be black, right? When I hear people go, well, a black guy, like the way that they say it got a type of energy to it, right? So when this guy says the Jews, the way that he's saying it, he got that type of energy. So some of y'all might say, well, Maj, why are we defending this guy? It's not that I'm defending this guy. If you justify your lack of involvement or defense of freedom of speech or a human right as codified in the Bill of Rights, if you are biased towards who you apply that towards, the state loves that. Because when they came for the Jews, I did nothing. When they came for the blacks, I did nothing. When they came for the whites, I did nothing. Government makes one section look like the bad guy. And then if they're the bad guy, then anything that we do to them is okay because they're the bad guys. Any means to accomplish the goal is justified. And if you'll turn the other cheek, so to speak, as it relates to the Constitution and limiting government because of the bad guys or because of an emergency, government will continue to keep making emergencies and villains and bad guys. They'll just keep doing it. And they'll just keep picking a different other until you're the other. And then when you're the other, then it's too late because you don't have no alliance. You don't have any group of people standing together under the ideology of limited government. That's what conservatism is supposed to be politically. I'm not talking about culturally conservative because a lot of people hide behind that. They go, I'm a Christian because I have a good religion. Okay, so the Jews are conservative allegedly, but they're the most liberal voting people in different parts of the country. Okay? So when you have this no limited government conservative showing up, it'll go from something as simple as this conversation right here, and oh man, you blowing it out of proportion. I mean, the cops, would you want them to not show up? Yes. I don't want the fucking police to show up. I want the police to maneuver like the fire department. Don't come unless I fucking call you. That's what we actually want. I thought this was America. I thought it's just the so irony world that the black dude such as myself that's actually a patriot is going harder than the people that say in a country where historically my experience as a black American is safe to say kind of unique, but I can talk that patriot shit and live it. But it seems like there's a lot of conservatives that are maybe white conservatives seem to forget about the law and order people, the all of that Molon Lave come and take it shit y'all talking about. The law and order people that you dick riding are the people that do come and take it. And you got to make a line in the sand. And you got to make sure that that line is never stepped across. And it starts incrementally like with things like this. Oh, I was just checking up on you because you said something that seemed concerning online. Why are you even online, Mr. Policeman? Why are you online? Get offline. All of them muggings and stabbings in certain communities, go put your presence there to be a deterrent. And I don't mean to bother people. Okay? Wild Cell says, I never heard a song called Fuck the Fire Department. Yeah, because the fire department isn't riding around. Yo, you ain't setting fires, is you? Don't be setting no fires, man. Look like you got a match, man. Come here. Come here. Look like you got a lighter, man. Is that lighter fluid? Come here. That's not what the fucking fire department does. I want you to stay invisible. And then when people go, well, when bad things happen, you do want the police to show up. Why? Like they could show up like they did in Texas and sit outside for an hour as a shooter is in there killing fucking students. Okay? If Americans stop outsourcing everything to government, including their personal protection and education and information, and like if we stop doing that, we like stop going to go get a job as a police officer. It's no longer an honorable fucking profession. It's not. The vast majority of the job is not chasing bad guys or preventing things or community policing. It's making quotas for the fucking state, revenue generation for the state. Okay? This conversation about law and order, Superweapon said it. I'd be curious to know when the so-called right decided the thin blue line in law and order somehow also means upholding freedom and liberty principles of the framers. When it got repackaged under Nixon, law and order, and then Ronald Reagan and all of that, those things got packaged and repackaged during those administrations. When Nixon was talking about it, 1,000%, and I hate using seemingly leftist terms, but it was 1,000% a dog whistle for bias and bigotry and locking the black people up. That's what it was under the Nixon administration. Got repackaged in the 80s during Ronald Reagan. Never to mind the fact that he cut the National Guard troops in half to let the cocaine get in here and then assisted with the CIA and Iran-Contra. This ain't no deep shit I'm talking about. They made whole TV shows about it. Snowfall fucking exists. Okay? Y'all wanted to generate money for wars in Nicaragua and the whole Iran-Contra shit and the rebels and all that other type of thing. You cooked up the coke and crack, turned it into crack and dropped it off. Then you went law and order after y'all had the money laundered off of that. Then you had your wife Nancy Reagan. Just say no. Okay? So it got packaged as law and order under the violence associated with the war on drugs. And this still was less of a dog whistle, but it meant we're going to lock them thugs and them gangbangers up. Never mind that government had a hand in the massive levels of cocaine flooding the streets and being turned into crack. Free Wake of Ricky Ross, me and him used to have the same attorney. Like, they told them how to turn the coke into crack. These are not like deep conversations at this point. Again, there's movies. Now they making money off of it by selling it as a movie. That's where that whole whatever thing. Albie Fresh says patriotism is the art of convincing the poor to die for the rich. I disagree with Nietzsche's quote there. For those of y'all that are not aware, Albie Fresh is quoting Friedrich Nietzsche. All right? Y'all know the quote y'all know Nietzsche from Coming to America. If one wants to learn, he must stand and walk first. One cannot fly into flying. That is not mine. That is Nietzsche's. That's who, what's his name? Prince Akeem's character was quoting in the movie Coming to America. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I get busy. I like Friedrich Nietzsche, even though he was more of a black pill dude, and I ain't really all the way agree with his political stances on shit or his political philosophy. But Nietzsche was a smart dude. That's one quote that I disagree with on Nietzsche. Not one, there's a few, but patriotism is the art of convincing the poor to die for the rich. Where I do understand that is you convince people that the definition of patriotism is being willing to die for your country in the form of war. Because that's what wars are. Sending young men to go die for old men's political and financial interests. So I get what that means. But that is if you believe that the definition of patriotism is that. It's not what patriotism is. If we're talking about an assumed or understood definition, I can see why he would say that. Patriotism is the love of your countrymen and countrywomen over government. Patriotism has shit to do with government. If you're convinced that it has something to do with government, then you get tricked a little bit. Okay? If you guys haven't read any of Nietzsche's work, there's a few guys that some of them y'all might not like, right? Nietzsche, fast forward, Frantz Fanon. If you have not read Wretched of the Earth, you should. It's a leftist. He a lefty. But there's some good shit in there, right? You should read, if you don't have any Epictetus in your portfolio, you should, right? If you don't got some Aristotle in your joint, you should. When you join the Solutionary now, we got a whole book. If anybody wants our our book list for the year 2026, this month our book is 365 Days with Self-Discipline for January. If y'all shoot me a DM or shoot me an email, join the Solutionary 9 or whatever. Voltaire, John Locke, absolutely. Robespierre, Aquinas, right? Bastiat, everybody should read The Law by Bastiat. It's a very good primer. The Law, Anatomy of the State by Rothbard, Niccolo Machiavelli for sure, The Prince. And again, morally, politically, these folks, you might not agree with them. But them French dudes, the French invented the guillotine. Like, they ain't like pussies. Okay? Media tries to make you think that they are. But anyway, get some of this in your repertoire. Anybody that wants our 12 books for this year, because when you're in the Solutionary 9, open enrollment for the Solutionary 9 is February the 1st, right? When you're in the Solutionary 9, you got to read 18 pages per day. 9 from our monthly group book and 9 from whatever your individual book is. Everybody should be in the Solutionary 9, all right? But anyway, when you read from all of these folks, especially those French philosophers and French revolutionary writers, a lot of them had a hand in shaping the mindset of the men that made the framework of America. You don't see a Thomas Jefferson without a Thomas Paine. You don't see any of that without a Frederick Bastiat. Okay? I'll be fresh. Today, our military-industrial complex will send our kids away to preserve capitalism. I don't even like using the term capitalism. I like free market enterprise. Capitalism is also another fucking commie word. That's a word that came from the communist whole situation. So I use free market enterprise, but I get what you're saying. And so that's that statement by Nietzsche under that understanding of what patriotism is holds weight there. But I identify patriotism as having more love and care for your countrymen and your countrywomen and being willing to defend life and their liberties and their freedoms. Okay? That's what I kind of am on that. But guys, all of this conversation, we've been on a bit of a sidebar. Again, guys, if you're getting some value from the show, buy me a coffee. Hey, Bookworm, put it in the chat again so I can put it on the screen. Buy me a coffee. Support the work, man. Support the show, all that other good stuff. We want to make sure that we're making sure that we're having discussions about these things and their importance, but tying them back into solutions so we can keep this type of content and the show getting better and all that other good stuff. Buy me a coffee. For those of you that don't know, it's like tipping. If you're watching this on X, right, there's a tip button on my X page. Or you can subscribe for $2 a month, right? And you get all of the conversation and content on X. If you're watching on X, you get all of the conversation and the content that the Solutionaries are getting. And the Solutionary 9, you'll get that content if you're a subscriber to the channel on X as well. So subscribe for $2 a month if you're watching on X. If you're watching everywhere else, Facebook, Facebook, Rumble, Facebook, whatever, that link is in the chat. And it's on the screen. It's buymeacoffee.com/Maj Toure. All right? That's how you can support the channel and support, all of that other good stuff we got going on. Now, saying this to say, why do these two videos that we just showed y'all, why does this matter? This matters because your rights, if you don't know them, it doesn't matter. It legitimately does not matter. Because you just going to be under the tread of the boot of the state. Your rights don't matter if you don't know them or when or how to use them. What to document, what to say. That young lady said something great. This guy, when these officers came up to it, they handled that chef's kiss. The young lady respectfully opened the door for the law enforcement officers, engaged them, said, hey, what are you here for? They told her. She was like, I'm not going to answer anything without my attorney. And I'm 100%, if she in Miami, she might be Jewish. She seemed like she was in them apartments that's close to the beach. That was a collectivist joke, guys. But if she says, I'm not going to say nothing without my attorney present, she's already smart and her attorney probably already put her onto the game. All right? I'm saying that to say she handled that properly. She knew what not to say. Okay? Same as this guy here. He knew what. No, I'm not talking to y'all. Matter of fact, do y'all have a warrant? Y'all see that sign? You are technically soliciting. I don't want you here. Goodbye. Goodbye. More Americans need to stand up in that regard. And again, guys, this is why we made our Know Your Rights course. Our Know Your Rights course, did y'all know the Know Your Rights course is taught by none other than Jason Basler, the founder of the Free Thought Project. Let me know in the chat if y'all are familiar with the Free Thought Project. Let me know if you're familiar with that channel. The Free Thought Project is like social media is one of their social media's biggest freedom communities. Jason founded that. And he has a class available to everybody that takes the class. He has the class that's yours forever over at Solutionary University. That's why we have that course. That's why we worked with him. When you want practical, real-world knowledge that you can use to protect yourself and your community, you have to go get that. And we put it on Solutionary University with someone that's qualified to teach you that. If you ever thought after the show tonight or whatever, if you wouldn't have responded as cool, calm, and collected as these young man and that lady did in these two videos, and if you thinking to yourself, damn, I should know a little bit more about my rights, tonight is the night that you 1000% should act. You should go over to Solutionary University, sign up for the Know Your Rights course. Guys, we spend so much, man. The link is below, right? I think it's in the description. Let me say this. We talked about the Eagles is out of the playoffs, which I'm so low-key glad about, because the Eagles always get on my nerves every year. And I get it. The Eagles won a Super Bowl last year, whatever, right? But let me say this. We spend all of that energy on football and sports and arguing and the debate and all that other type of shit. If I'm talking about it on the show with y'all, if I'm making content on the YouTube channel, right? It's tied back into a solution. When we're talking about this right here tonight, that's got to go into civics. That has got to go into know your rights. And you guys have to do the right thing to make sure that you're getting the information that we set up on the site that you can share with your family. My job is to translate to you guys what I see and know. That's what I'm doing. When I translate what I see and know to y'all and say, this was right and this was wrong. I'm not championing the guy that's like, see, when you talk about the Jews, like, he's not my team because he's dissing the Jews, and I don't know what he said completely. And I'm going based on how he made a collective statement about the Jews, right? And the unfortunate part is it seemed to be backed up because the lady in Miami criticized the Jewish mayor and police came to her door. So I'm not a collectivist because I got Jewish homies that I'm not like, my Jewish homies don't got fucking space lasers. They don't like control the weather. They don't got free Jewish buttons to heart, right? So I'm not a collectivist. However, when government is overreached and infiltrated to a certain extent, any group will attempt in a position of power, especially operating through government, any group will attempt to utilize and weaponize any so-called wrong speech for its benefit. That's why government has to be limited. The fact that law enforcement officers got sent here is a magnificent fucking problem. So if you're thinking about this and you know, like, damn, I wouldn't have handled that way, you definitely need to take our Know Your Rights course. Click the link, take the course. Man, be the solution. Do not wait, man. Your rights will not protect themselves. We are literally watching federal agencies in the form of ICE. Now, and ICE has been around. Deportations have fucking happened. Deportations have happened. This ain't like some new thing. Okay? Shout outs to Al B. Fresh for buying me a coffee and supporting the show. Shouts to you, Al B. Fresh. Al B. Fresh said, put the link up. Al B. Fresh bought me a coffee. Appreciate you there, Al B. Fresh. Appreciate you for sure. Okay? Deportation is not a new thing. Like, Obama, mentioned it and, damn near campaigned on it. Right? He was like, we're a nation of laws. We're blah, 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 blah. I think the numbers are like, Clinton did it. Well, let's go right even before Obama. Because I hate that. Everybody try to be like, on the right, be like, well, Obama, bro, come on, man. We had one black dude. We had one black president. Come on, man. Don't blame everything. Just go right to Obama. Well, the fucking Obama and Big Mike. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to cut it the fuck out. Clinton, 12.5 million deportations. Google what I'm saying. Grok it, whatever you want to do. Bush Jr., 10.3 million deportations. Obama, 5.2 million deportations. Donnie Boy, 1.5 million. Let's go over that again. Clinton, 12.5. Bush Jr., 10.3. Obama, 5.2. Donnie Boy, 1.5. So the conversation isn't about if people should agree with unlawful immigration and deportation. When you have open borders and you have a welfare state, you're going to get people flooding borders. That's what's going to happen. However, how it's being done, along with the media spin, how the media is spinning the narrative. Let's not act like deportation was not at the top tier of all of those last, 3 or 4 presidents. Let's not act like they wasn't doing it. But at the same time, let's also not act like this particular administration, since they campaigned on it, and they are doing the exact opposite of the vast majority. The Trump administration is doing the exact opposite of what most of the things that they campaigned on. They giving the red meat to the base with this one. And ICE is not doing a fucking good job as it relates to, it's like bad police work. You're just hiring motherfuckers. They're jumping out ski masks. You look like a robber. Unmarked vehicles. It's just a shit show. We should be able to say unlawful immigration to America is a problem. We have to streamline the process to getting hardworking people that want to assimilate into the American concept of freedom. Streamline that at Congress, secure the borders, stop giving handouts on a welfare state, and stop thinking that you could just go force and do it, especially when the media, which is mostly controlled by the left, is going to highlight where ICE is fucking up, and they are fucking it up. Look at what Wild South said. Reagan's amnesty gave California its Democrat supermajority, and he was the great conservative. Ronald Reagan, man, he's the reason why California and the gun community is fucked right now. You know how they say, as California goes, so goes America. The 60s, the fucking Mulford Act, Reagan had his hand in all of that. All right, that's a real thing. So we got to have these conversations, and I hope that I'm doing a good job for you guys to make sure that I'm giving you guys a solid, holistic, and robust breakdown of these types of conversations. We are not arguing that unlawful immigration is not a thing. It is, because you got a welfare state. And those corporations that mumbo jumbo talk all of that, Trump's donors are not, like, they own restaurants and buildings. Come on, man, contract companies. They get a lot of unlawful immigrants to, come on, stop it. But you're not going after that. To Bookworm's point right here. Why don't they go after the employers? Because then it would actually get real. So go after 10 million people for the most part. Most of the unlawful, let's reverse it. If y'all went into a different country, a tropical paradise, and you ain't have your papers, and you overstayed your visa over there, right? Would you be doing crime or would you be working under the table? Let's just ride with this. Ride with me for a second, y'all. We're going to wrap up here shortly, but just ride with me for a second. Okay? Well, if you was over in sunny, let's say you unlawfully immigrated and overstayed your visa in St. Bart's. Oh, no, let's not use St. Bart's. Let's use Monaco. Monaco. You guys would love Monaco, right? If you overstay in Monaco and you didn't want to get arrested, would you be a criminal or would you find some under the table work? Turkey, right? Whatever. Just some place that you like, man, it's beautiful here. It's just opportunities here. I get to hobnob with rich people. I say them fancy places because if you live in America, you pretty much already hit the jackpot. I'm sorry, guys. Right? But if you're in a tropical paradise where money's just flowing and there's Lambos all over the place, you'd probably get a job working under the table as like a boat dude for the yachts in Monaco. Around the time when the Grand Prix shows up in Monaco and the yachts are there and it's fucking the princes and all of the, oh my God. You wouldn't be a criminal. You would just work under the table. And you would try your best to be quiet, keep your hair down, develop relationships, until you get your bread up. That's what you would do. That's what most unlawful immigrants into America are doing. And I'm not saying that it's lawful. I'm saying it's not 10, 20 million like criminal rapists. They're approaching this thing from a horrible approach, pretending as if most of the unlawful immigrants are the people that are doing the massive amounts of crime. But they campaigned on it. And you did violate the rules or the statutes coming into America, overstaying your visa, because the vast majority of this visa overstays, right? So you overstay your visa or you whatever, you came in through the southern border, whatever. Most of those people are just working and spending money and sending home back, but they do get, a lot of them do get benefits and things like that. If you stop the benefits, you got to have ID. You can't get ID without a birth certificate or a social security card. Now, are people handing out different identity theft? Yeah, there's a way to get around everything. But local and state and federal government are not making it difficult to streamline the process to cut the bullshit out. So when they're not going after the employers, they're not going after that because they're doing something like, do you think the next president which is probably going to be Gavin Newsom, a Gavin Newsom AOC ticket beats the shit out of anybody the Republicans can present other than Thomas Massey and whoever else. But when this Democrat gets in office, do you think the ICE going to be running around the same way? No. And even if it is, media is just not going to highlight it the same. My point in saying all of this is you got government overreach in the form of ICE agents, and people on the conservative side, as if this is going to be forever, are the people championing government overreach. Then, okay, now you get Big Gav in there. Look like the fucking Joker. Gavin Newsom looks like an absolute villain. He looks like every 80s and 90s villain that pretends like they're a good person in the front and they're doing like all of the evil shit in the back. That's what Gavin Newsom is. That's what he looks like. So he gets in office, then he weaponizes and expands the federal government. Maybe not ICE, he uses it for a different way. He goes after gun owners. Then you're going to understand why some of us that were actually principled were like, absolutely not to this ICE thing, because it's government overreach. See, y'all do this fair weather shit. This is why the Constitution is as solid and written and limiting government as it is. Because it's like, hey, we are not supposed to give government overreach powers. They're talking about this thing as if the 10 or 20 million illegals are mostly the criminal rapists. They're not going after the employers. They're not streamlining the actual process to get hardworking people that want to be a part of the American way of life in here. They're still importing H-1B visas, China and India. They're not strengthening the American intelligence or skills or development or infrastructure. But they're doing this show, and now we're arguing against each other. And if you say, I think ICE is doing a bad job of how they're going about this, now you are down with the illegals. No, I'm actually for limiting fucking government, because when you give government more power, the other team, that's really the uniparty, the duopoly, when they get in charge, Big Gav show up. Big Gav and Goofy AOC show up. Big Gav, Big Tits AOC show up and use government in a way that you said was okay. Then you argue against government overreach because it's a blue boot. But it was okay for you when it was a red boot. Fuck ICE. Local law enforcement, when you arrest somebody for a crime, you not fucking the person that we can't identify you. You don't have no way to get here. We get you the fuck out of here. Come on. Guys, pay attention. Stop letting them dangle a carrot. Be robust in your understanding, nuanced in your understanding of a thing. And if you don't know how to articulate it, tap into the show. Ask me questions. Join our Solutionary 9. We got a whole private group. We can articulate these things in a way. They're trying to package you as if you are not okay, well, why wouldn't you want the police to check up on this guy? He said something aggressive on the internet. And if you say, no, I don't want law enforcement sent to do that. Oh, so you're okay with anti-Semitism. They'll use that. Or, since anti-Semitism don't work as much now, they'll say something else. I'm not down with the dude that said, see guys, you say something about the Jews. I'm not down with him. Just based on that sentence alone, he might be a collectivist. I'm not down with that. But defense of freedom of speech is not for the people and things that you like only. We looking real funny in the light right now on the right side of the political aisle. I'm with y'all. I'm just telling y'all as y'all brother, I work for y'all. I'm telling y'all, that shit is wrong. We looking real funny in the light. Oh, you must hate America because you don't want ICE to do their job. It is not your job to overreach. The executive branch is supposed to defend the borders. The gray area is, well, technically we're defending America by sending federal agencies into cities and states, leftist cities and states, that the governors do not want you there. We've already seen Renee Good be killed behind this stupid shit. Overzealous, untrained, lack of discipline, poor police work, ICE agents. Was the problem so bad that if we didn't get ICE in, there was no other alternative? No. The problem was so bad because government created the problem. Point the finger at fucking government. Is it so bad that a dude said something about a young lady and this guy said something about the mayor or were expressing their views about a group of people or whatever? Is that so bad that we would now send law enforcement to potentially violate this person's First Amendment rights? Because remember, First Amendment is to restrict government. Government. I get to say stuff. Government doesn't get to just come in and try to like black bag me. Was it so bad, even though it might have been vile and I might disagree with it, was it so bad that I'm okay with government violating its position and overreaching? Fuck no is the answer. And if your answer is not fuck no too, my friend, you need to take a hard look in the mirror. You definitely need to take our Know Your Rights class. You definitely need to take our civics class. Click the link, take the course, and be the solution. Do not wait. Your rights will not protect themselves. Anyway, guys, I think this is a cool spot to close up for the show tonight. Few things, guys. If you got some value from tonight's show, buy me a coffee at the link in the chat. Let me find that link again so I can put it back up there. Shouts to Al B. Bookworm says, I'll come back to this video in 2028. You should. I'm telling y'all, it's going to be Gavin and AOC. It's going to be Gavin and AOC. Who on the right could beat Gavin and AOC? Who could beat them? Miguel says he's a racist jerk, but the DPS were extremely wrong for that. Yep. Who could beat Gavin and AOC on the right? Take Thomas Massie out. Because every time I try to talk to Thomas Massie to be the president, he'd be like, I'm trying to rep Kentucky. Right? And I get it. But take Thomas Massie out the equation. Who do we have on the right? Maybe Rand Paul? Who do we have on the right that could beat a Gavin Newsom AOC ticket? Who could beat him? Legit. I don't think anybody can. We look a mess. Maybe Byron Donalds? Maybe Byron Donalds? Larry Sharp? Larry Sharp is better than all of these people. Larry Sharp is smarter, more focused on liberty and limited government. Everybody, if you don't know, you should be supporting Larry for his gubernatorial run in the state of New York. Go support Larry Sharp. Okay? Nobody could beat a Gavin Newsom and AOC ticket. I'm sorry. They're going to get young people. They're going to get swing states. They're going to get all the liberals. They're going to get corporate support. Gavin Newsom is corporate. Don't get it fucked up. Gavin Newsom is I would have preferred Gavin ran this time instead of Kamala. But he made a smart move by saying, no, I'll wait. I'll wait. Trump get in there. Trump is fucking his own base over. Okay? Some of the Republicans, the right is going to get absolutely hammered, hornswoggled, slam dunked in the midterms. You know how many Republicans is like, nah, no thanks. I'm standing out. I ain't never voting for no damn Democrat, but I ain't voting for this shit show. They're going to get the shit beat out of them in the midterms. I said this when they just lost a couple of months back, when they lost all of them blue seats. Superweapon says no political pundit is running on the right, and no current candidate has enough mojo. They don't. Gavin Newsom and AOC are going to ravage. They're going to look like a more evolved, tech-savvy, social media Obama during the 2012 run. It's wild. Only person that can stop that train is Thomas Massie. Thomas, which so much so that I'm like, the Illuminati already set it up. Thomas Massie is perfect. He'll get Republicans that didn't like Trump. He'll get Republicans that do like Trump if he's the fit. You know what I mean? It can only be Thomas Massie. And if it is Thomas Massie, I'm gonna try to go to his shire and see if it's him or if it's one of them fucking AI robots that skin robots. Because it's too perfect. JD Vance is screwed. Nobody wants Ramaswamy. Ramaswamy's going to reign supreme in Ohio for a while. Okay? He said Trump's been attacking Massey for a while. The Trump attacks on Massey have gotten Massey stronger, which is why I started to go, all the world's a stage. And Massey's my homie. I'm starting to look, he looking too good right now. I'm scared. He growing a beard. He losing weight. This boy looking good. He looking like the working class American would vote for him to keep this duopoly shit going. That's what it looked like to me. He's been relentless and principled the entire time. That boy looked too good. I campaign for Massey in a heartbeat. I text him in a heartbeat. Bang, let's go. Yeah, he live in the Shire in Kentucky. Massey is literally brilliant. Massey is literally an engineer. He went to a fucking MIT or some shit. The smart place. Right? Marjorie Taylor Greene can't do it. DeSantis is done. DeSantis is just reign supreme in Florida till it's done. You know what I'm saying? They can't. DeSantis is done. RFK and Tulsi fucked it up. Y'all have heard nothing from Tulsi Gabbard. Y'all have heard nothing. Everybody that went in this administration that in 2023 and 2024 that campaigned like the Avengers, Ramaswamy, RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, Bongino, fucking everybody. Everybody. At best, they've been a goose egg. At worst, they've been horrible. The right has nothing. Other than all roads lead to Thomas Massey. All roads lead to Thomas Massey. And if they don't have it, it's going to be Gavin and AOC. You get a woman, they're going to bring out Hillary to campaign for her. Because she ain't, this wicked witch just won't die. Fucking Hillary just won't fucking die. She just won't die. She's a goddamn vampire. Frazzle drip. Google it. Okay? She won't die. She's going to campaign for AOC. Okay? Gavin's going to get corporate California energy. He's connected. Wineries. All types of shit. So he's going to get corporate support. He's already started last year in 2024 pretending like he's not anti-gun. He went on fucking Sean Ryan's show and got gifted a fucking cig. That boy is dangerous. I'm telling you, I'm not the smartest man, but I can see shit. I may not be smart, but I got vision. That boy dangerous. And he get a woman to soften that. Man, listen. Then that same government does the overreach. Guys, there's no time like the present to be involved, to learn, to take a class, so you can articulate these things to your friends, your family, and we have to create the force multipliers. We are the actual answer. We, the people. And we, as solutionaries, have all of the type of information to make sure that we're informing and empowering more and more people. Okay? Please, guys, make sure you're signing up for the class over at solutionaryuniversity.org. If you got some value from the show tonight, guys, it's on the screen. It's in the chat if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on X, just give a tip or just be a subscriber. Subscribe to the X channel. That subscribe button, be a subscriber. It's $2 a month. You'll help with the show. All right? If you're watching on YouTube, hit the link. It's right under me. It's in the chat. Buy me a coffee. Support the show. Appreciate y'all all. Make sure y'all share this space all over the place. I'll engage with a lot of y'all. Shoot me a DM right after this if you want to engage. Or email me, majtoure@solutionaryuniversity.org. Any questions that you have or the book list or any of the things that we talked about tonight that you want a little bit more information on, shoot me a DM or shoot me an email. majtoure@solutionaryuniversity.org. I thank y'all all for tapping in. I will see you guys in the DMs and see you guys next week. Be safe. Be solutionary.